The Star Moon Union's 100-man gold collection unit was already full, but they didn't mind adding another person. After signing the official contract, Lu Li received one of the cheapest game helmets. Even one of the cheapest game helmets cost $30,000 for the Lu family brother and sister. A mere $10 was a large sum of money. It would have been impossible for Lu Li to afford a game helmet by himself. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye, and on September 1, 2215, Dawn was opened worldwide. Do your best, big brother. The little lolly jumped around, feeling very excited. Lu Li kissed her little face, then lay on the bed and put on the game helmet. A feeling of numbness came from his head and spread throughout his body, causing his consciousness to become hazy. System checkup. First log on, retina scan, binding. DNA analysis, binding identity, binding bank account. After the robotic voice disappeared, Lu Li appeared in a vast hall. There were 10 or so large screens around him, and all of them had the image of a figure that looked just like him. The Model 7 game helmet has been bound to you. Welcome to Dawn. In a faraway age of darkness, a new chapter has opened. Azeroth continent has entered into an age of war. Dear player, would you like to begin creating your account? Yes. First, please choose your faction. In the war-torn Azeroth continent, the evil faction and the light faction have begun hostilities. The light faction. You have chosen the light faction. Humans, dwarves, night elves. 7 races are available to you. Night elves. 10 seconds later, a night elf version of Lu Li that looked about 80% similar to him appeared in front of him. Night elves and humans were about the same height, but had slightly darker skin, as well as pointy ears. Compared to humans, the night elves who lived in forests had much better stealth and detection abilities. Player, Lu Li. Profession, thief. Race, night elf. Faction, light faction. Level, LV0. Attributes, strength, 2, agility, 2, intelligence, 2, constitution, 2, perception, 2, charisma, luck. HP, 100 and 100ths, energy, 100 and 100ths. Defense, 2, attack, 3, toughness, 1, reflect, 2, willpower, 0. Balance, 5, focus, 5, jump, 5, stealth, 0, hide, 5, search, 5. Magic resist, 0, movement speed, 5, attack speed, 5. Weight limit, 0 to 20 pounds, light movement, 20 to 30 pounds, normal movement, 30 to 50, restricted movement. Racial abilities. Shadow Melt, active skill, instant cast, cool down time, 2 minutes. Activate to slip into the shadows, reducing the chances of being detected. The effects last until the time runs out or upon moving. After the effects end, aggro that was held towards you will be restored. Quickness, racial passive. Reduces the chances of being hit by melee and ranged attacks by 2%. Evasive, racial passive. When using Shadow Meld or in stealth mode, reduces the chances of being discovered by enemies. Nature Spirit, racial passive. Night elves possess wisdom and intelligence that other races do not. Gain 3 intelligence every 5 levels. Nature Resistance, reduces chance of being hit by nature magic by 2%. Class Ability 1, Dagger Proficiency, 20% bonus attack speed when using daggers. Class Ability 2, Ambush, 30% bonus attack damage when attacking an enemy from behind. Class Ability 3, Pickpocket, has a certain chance to steal money or items from humanoid creatures. Creates aggro. Cannot be used against players and non-aggro NPCs. In his previous life, Lu Li's profession had been a druid. He could attack, heal, and even tank. However, that didn't mean druids were powerful. In fact, one would rarely see druids in the top 10 rankings. However, most of the gold collection unit players had chosen druids. This was because druids were hard to kill, and barely had to use any consumables when fighting monsters. When running out of HP, they could heal themselves, and when running out of MP, they could transform and use swipe. They could often access places that other players couldn't, such as water and mountains. However, this time, Luli had chosen the thief profession. The thief profession was the king of park, and had many incapacitating skills, as well as shocking explosive power. Furthermore, no one could stop them if they wanted to escape from battles. It was also easy for thieves to earn money by opening treasure boxes, stealthily going to places where normal players couldn't go to mine, picking medicinal plants. Although Luli hadn't played as a thief before, he was very interested in this profession. He had read many guides for thieves, and was confident that he would be able to succeed as one. Moreover, Luli's thief was destined to be set apart from all the other thieves. You have chosen a melee profession. Please choose your operating mode. Regarding the operating modes, the official website went into much detail regarding the automatic mode, half-manual mode and manual mode. Each of these modes had their advantages and disadvantages, and it was acknowledged that their difficulty was in that order. When playing as a druid in his past life, his cheetah and wolf transformations were also used melee attacks, so he knew how difficult using manual mode was. However, he was clear that all melee experts used either half-manual mode, or manual mode. I choose the manual mode. Enter the game. Suddenly, a dizzying sensation hit him, and when he opened his eyes they were filled with the verdant scene of a dark ravine. Towering trees that blanketed the entire sky in the real world. Because of the deforestation from humans, this sort of scenery was impossible to find. Near where he spawned, there was a gigantic tree with a few NPCs standing around it. They looked exactly like real people, except for the physical characteristics of elves. Soon, more players also appeared. The Dark Ravine was one of the Night Elf players' spawn points. The Star Moon Union's elf players all decided to start here. After having a look at his stats, Luli decided to start doing quests. At LV0, there were 3 quests available to them: the blacksmith's 30 young boar tusks, the tailor shop's 30 young Shadamal panther furs, and the orphan Cayenne's kite. The third quest was to take down a kite from a tree, and return it to Cayenne. Luli didn't bother with the first 2 quests, and instead accepted the third quest, Cayenne's request. He ran to the back of the mountain, and avoided monsters whenever he could. If he couldn't avoid them, he would do his best to charge past them, and would eat bread whenever his HP was low. Little bread, use, recovers 30 horsepower in 8 seconds, must be sitting while eating. The system gave each player 5 for free, and the shops sold them for 5 copper each. They were quite expensive, and normal people wouldn't be able to afford them. It was lucky that monsters under elite grade wouldn't chase players. Players would be able to shake them off once they ran out of their aggro range. As such, Luli was able to arrive at the back of the mountain without much trouble. The kite item in Cayenne's request was on a tree at the bottom of the mountain. It wouldn't be too difficult to grab it after jumping onto the tree from a nearby rock. It was a very, very large kite, and the problem wasn't with how to retrieve it, but the respawn time. Tens of thousands of elf players in the Dark Ravine could accept this quest, but this quest item only respawned once every half an hour. This was simply ridiculous. From the very beginning, Cayenne's kite was acknowledged to be the most ridiculous quest in the Dark Ravine. Luckily, Luli was able to obtain this quest item. However, he didn't go to complete the quest. And that was because he hadn't obtained this kite for the purpose of completing the quest.